Here's a favorite. I think I know it.
Oh,
No, I don't know it.
that was that was Fleur de Lis, wasn't
This meeting is being recorded. Yes, I know that.
it? I
It
snuck in a
asked
little
me that.
recording while you were playing the flute.
Oh no, I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
Perfect and perfect introduction to you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm working on a new. There's these things called etudes, and they're just exercises. I've been playing for about I guess about a year and a half now, like really playing, and about taking lessons for the last seven months. I found a flute player on Facebook, the flute channel, and I tuned into her. This cute little French Canadian, just phenomenal musician, and she gives lessons. So I hooked up and I start playing, and I love it. It's like it's always right here, I have it right there. I pick it up all the time, and I'm just always messing with it. I love it.
I
But
took
anyway, hi.
hi. I took flute lessons when I was in 7th grade. Didn't
Oh yeah.
didn't quite pan out, but it was I love watching you do that. Anyway, welcome to Kristen Clark Unmasked. This is Roxanne Swainhart. Oh my
Hello.
gosh. Special, amazing old friend lady from 2015. And I am going to, the best way to introduce you for me is when I reached out to you a couple years ago, and I said this to you the other day, you had given me the best advice. And I just want to real quickly read a small little excerpt out of that book about you. And so here we go. I was so fed up with the whole suicidal BS that I'd been interacting with that I decided to reach out to a very powerful and deeply insightful friend of mine. She used to be a channeler just like me, but she was anything but airy fairy. She was a no holds bar, in your face, tell you like it is while cussing up a blue streak badass. I needed to know why I was perpetually playing in this sandbox, and I didn't want the conventional shock, sympathy, empathy crap that comes from the typical societal reaction to someone thinking about suicide. And of course, she didn't let me down. And that was you.
Yeah.
And and for the people that are watching, what she had told me at that time, which about an hour and a half of great advice, but the one thing that stuck out was don't make it any bigger than a steak dinner. And that I have, if I could I should tattoo that on my body. Because it goes for everything in our life, everything. Just don't make it a big deal. There's nothing serious going on here.
No. It's just the relationship that's going on, The relationship to things, it's the weighted value we put in stuff. And since we're birthed in the democracy of polarity, and we have no rightful inkling to ourselves of forever, then what we covet as awakeners or as humans becomes our personality, and the measurements within those personality are our experiences. So like it's the old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. We can justify killing, but murder, you go to get the needle for murder because the intention is different, but the relationship to the action is the same. We kill for the idea of America, kill the enemies or they'll kill us. But we can't murder each other. The action's the same, but the relationship is different because it's done in a different measurement of polarity. And if you look at your life, your whole life is weighted through emotions. We have an emotional scale that's unique to us. So when you get to a point of exploring reality as polarized, it seems most people will find the suicide path because it seems a system is set up in separation. Otherwise, we don't get the experience. And the division from the unconditional lies within each singularity because we're divided with ourselves, right? So we create the portion of division and we look through that point of view and relate to reality through those truths and have those experiences. So when your life is not going in the expectations that everyone promised you, if you do hard work and you do everything right, you should be able to do it. But that's a bullshit. By the way, swearing helps. Okay, so it's absolute. It's a sham. It's all a story. That's all it is. The only certainty is your existence. That's what you have. And that's what you need to understand, because we've put our images, and when those images that are efforted and sustained are rejected, because we were never embraced in the encouraging light of self-love. It was always earned love. It was always become something for them and for your pride, for your, look at me, and then it's gone. It's a fart in the wind. It's gone. And you got to do it over and over and over again. And then I found, the same way you did, I found the suicide road. You know, here I was 20 years in the car business, outstanding employee, worked my ass off, give the shirt off my back to any and everyone. Couldn't do it anymore. Found Roxanne. Roxanne was rejected for 2 years, 2 solid years of efforting myself to get hired and do everything. With all the credentials and all the right things I've done, I didn't look right. So they just said, no, you're not, I'm sorry, you don't fit. Hi, let's make you not fit even more. And then let's reject you. And let's look, everything that you were promised doesn't work today because the way you feel, you're wrong, right?
Yeah.
It's like religion. You're wrong, I'm right. You know, and it's like, okay, here comes the Muslim. Here comes the Christian. 20 years later, they meet. Which one's wrong? Neither, because they travel their own journey. So the division is just sold right there, and it lies within. The division is within the singularity, not within the objectification. So that's when I start falling in love with Roxanne. Either it was kill her or be her. So I took a chance and I became Roxanne because I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back. I couldn't sell myself short. And then I journeyed through the magnificence of belief systems that tore me apart on every vibrational, emotional range, all the way from hope and good and being a positive. All of that to me is total crap. We're beyond polarity and we're unconditional. And that is undefined. That is only discoverable. Because if you come from a foundation of polarity, and that's the limits of your experience, and how are you going to know if with that, using that memory, that source, to understand the unconditional? Doesn't work. Just tear it apart. What's there? The nature of you. So you were looking at an endpoint for you. And then you offer an attraction that gives you, in the endpoint, there's always another view. Now, it may have moved you away from the energetic pain and got your focus to go over here, that energetic pain to go over there. And maybe it's that energetic false turned to hope, and then hope turned to effort, and effort turned to a satisfying place. So you always cycle in those things when you go down the rejection road to suicide, and some people follow and some people don't. But it's irrelevant because no one's judging the journey, because the journey is unjudgeable. The journey is the only experience. So all you did was master yourself. That's what you did, to explore the depths of human mastery, human possibilities. I did the same thing, but I did it in my way, and you did it in your way, and everyone's doing it in their way. And as soon as we start to see the division lies within, then the relationship to pain, suffering, hope, sorrow, need, want, and desire, purpose, and meaning becomes so diminished that your only thing is left is your existence, the chosen existence that you are, is enough. Because there's nothing better than life. No, you can measure the crap out of life. So when you had that moment, it was a moment for both of us. It was a moment for me not to search and fix, but to explore the possibilities of 2 unconditional creators getting together to live out a moment in its full potential of light, not to dumb it down to an emotional status. Oh no, it's bad to suicide. Don't do it. Don't do it. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know what's on the other side? Well, tell me. It's the one maybe you're going
Exactly.
to suffer for. Maybe the human that said they could have done something different is one going to suffer. Because the one that died isn't suffering. It's on to the next adventure, isn't it?
Yes.
Because we
Yes.
don't know, do we? We only know the exploration of the now. We have all the reasons to understand, and we can take those things and make them truths. But the idea is to know that the now is where your knowing lies. So when you project onto something that's horrific, you're only feeding that, right? And if someone comes to you for sympathy and compassion, you're only feeding that if you offer the same vibration. What you got to do is be a light bearer and say, great, have fun. But just remember, it's only a steak fucking dinner.
I
Fantastic.
love what you said. On to the next adventure. Because
On to the next adventure.
my recently I put my 16-year-old dog down. We could go into flowery terms there, but that was what happened. And I chose that this time I was not going to experience death through the place of grief as I did before. I wanted a new experience. And my experience this time was, let's see what it's going to be like to go into it with no, because I know she wasn't upset and worried about it. And through my choice, which at times was tough, there was the grief wanted to pull it because it was a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
And I just said, no, I'm not. That's not my choice. I kept saying, on to the next adventure, on to the next adventure. So I love that you said that this time and we're talking about suicide. And because it, law of attraction, whatever we want to say, but I love how you take this so far beyond the teachings that, worked when they worked, which was law of attraction or positive and negative and all of that. But then it gets to the point where you start feeling, I feel like I'm stuck in fourth grade. It's like, I want more than this. And that's where I have to go in here and find it.
Right.
And if I can't find it in here, I'll reach out, give myself the impression I'm reaching out to somebody, but I'm still accessing myself. The wisdom's just piggybacking in on, you or whomever else.
Well, I just call it the all.
Yeah.
The all is always here. One, me, and the all. And you're the one, and everything else is the all. So that's how I look at laws of attraction. That's why Osipius taught me way back when I was started channeling in 2014. Osipius had said to me, it's an effortless thing, Roxanne. Don't discount law of attraction. See, law of attraction works without your communion because that's what we are by nature. You don't need to do anything to get it because, I don't know, did you ever wake up without a reality? And I said, no. You always had a body, right? Yeah. Gravity, air, refrigerator was there, toilet, coffee maker. Yeah. See, that's all attracted in the moment. You don't need to do anything. That's what your vibration tells the all to form itself into in a physical reality. Okay, good. And that's it. So one less thing, right? So all I got to do is look at me and my relationship. That's everything I got from Seth. So I did a channeling the other night. I do my Wednesday night master classes. And I channeled Seth for about 2.5 hours, and he explained probable selves. One of the most epic things I've understood. And we get to understand that because we change our relationship. So you're looking for something beyond that. You got to stop using the source of what you know, your memory. And the only way I found out is not the memory and not the future to change my now. That was the key, here and now. So I started allowing the now, looking at my relationship with the things that were vibrationally attracted to me without effort, to not see a lesson or a karma or a perfect person that has to be shunted down to some piece of shit because some God said so. We have to earn our way back to Godship. Thanks for playing. No, to see the possibilities of discovery through this point of view of separation, to have the remembrance, the self-evident reflection that I already am. It's like Seth said, you journey away, you turn around and come home and realize you never left. And I was like, oh, I like that, right? So that relationship showed me that I can look at, through my channelings, and channeling 8 years later, still channeling my ass off. And I discovered that when I change the relationship with an idea about whatever it is, then there's always a new vibrational way to see and interact with the same objects. Because it's not about the objectivity, is where we lie our definition and compartmentalization so we can have something we can rely on as dependency and safety and security. I think that's why the world is up and up, people, because all of a sudden shit's changing. Not the same status quo, right? But we have, it's so funny. I think Armageddon was this big gloomy thing. No, I think Armageddon for these people is stuck on the couch with Netflix and Doritos. It's not bad, right? Lying in the underwear playing games. No, it's not too bad, right? We did pretty good. So, anyways, it's that relationship that I was starting to discover that it's not the object that I'm assigning. It's the belief system that I'm seeing the object. So I was starting to see the same things in the now, but I was relating to them differently. Relating to them in an unknown self, an undiscovered self, not a refined self of repetition, not a self that's forged as an image that needs to be maintained through my focus. I don't need to maintain Roxanne. I already am Roxanne. Roxanne changes all the time. Roxanne is this constant evolution of self. And whenever Roxanne's not Roxanne, Roxanne will be something else. But it's not the who, it's what's creating Roxanne. I am. It's the what, the creator. So I started understanding probable selves in that nature, and it really started to take down the relationship with belief systems that encompassed an emotional relationship reaction. Like you just said, a little like a knee-jerk reaction because that was a death. That's not a death, that's a transcendence. But here we looked at as loss because death is loss. We're all supposed to be all happy with do all your thing and go to heaven. Why is everyone so hell-bent on being afraid? Why are we trying to make ourselves last longer on the planet of suffering? Because that's what we are so good at suffering. We're great at it, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're just masters at suffering on a hostile planet. That's fabulous. And everyone's trying to stay on. I don't get it. Well, I do get it. I understand it now because it's a relationship of identity. We're trying to sustain the human self because the inside is empty because we don't know ourselves. And we were never taught that you're enough. We teach our children that they have to become. We teach our children, no, those are silly ideas. No, there's no one in your room. You don't have an imaginary friend. There's no such thing as fairies. We start to turn them into brick and mortars. I mean, it just came in. It's like, remember the wall scene? And I was like, another brick in the wall. The kids are on the grinder and they're falling over and getting ground out because we're a one size fits all society. And if you don't fit, well, bye. There's only division. But that's the mastery of this game. Is for light bearers to find the love within and be that authentic choice. And that changes frequencies. I'm not a leader. Light bearers aren't leaders. That's crap. That's a destination. That's time to become something. Bullshit. It is, each individual is unique and each individual has the light of the diversity. The diversity offers change and creation. So you find that authentic light. And I don't care if you're digging ditches or driving a bus or being a channeler or being a podcaster or playing video games and creating the idea of TikToks. You're doing the authentic self without the need of acceptance to find the original self that you are by nature and let that light shine through the deconstruction of the value of image that you coveted while you were born on earth because you were taught polarity. That bears light to allow others to encourage and fall in love with themselves. And then the wholeness is realized, and then the dependency on the externalism is shattered. So there's no that sustaining this, because this has always been creating that. And it's magnificent, Kristen.
It is.
Magnificent that we became the masters of this planet. And I'm talking about every human. I'm talking about from Hitler to Mother Teresa to Charlie Manson to the idea of our new president. We're all forgotten gods that were crazy enough to come into a world of separation and ascend the species through billions of lifetimes. think we might be a little insane, but I think that's what gets us to our mastery.
So we're
So,
only
yeah.
18 minutes in, and everybody's now seeing this is why Roxanne's here today. I didn't really get to introduce you much, but obviously you don't need an introduction. Roxanne is a force of herself. Odyssey of Ascension is that,
That's my
are we?
YouTube.
I love that background. It's a beautiful background.
Yeah.
And
This was the coolest. Let me tell you the story behind this. It's like,
yeah.
here's how effortless my life is. It's like when I first started channel back in 2013, I had a friend there with the video camera, came over and we started. And then we went to her house every Friday. Then it became every Wednesday and every Friday. And then the people started gathering. And then someone says, Roxy, you need a YouTube channel. You need a website. Anyways, all of those people showed up and created them. I didn't do anything. That was the coolest thing. And then Jimmy said, Roxy, you need a symbol. You need a symbol that says Roxanne, says Odyssey of Ascension, that everyone's going to know. And I was like a thing, you know? And I was like, cool. I didn't know, right? And I was like, okay. And he goes, well, I got an Apple computer and I'm a computer graphic. So I can, what do you imagine? So I said, okay, take a pyramid, look down on it, chop the top off, and out of that comes a spiral of the rainbows. You know, so that's what this is. So this is what it came up. So we're looking down, and coming out of it is your own spiral, your evolution out of the pyramid, which of course is the triangle, which I don't know why, I just like the triangle. And he goes, what colors? And I was like, oh, blue. Oh, definitely blue. Yeah. And poof, there it is. And he had one crack at it, and I was done. I was done. And then,
Perfect.
yeah. And then it was like the name was Odyssey of Ascension, and I didn't know. I was like, I don't know what to name, name my business, name Roxanne, ascending, 5 laws of attraction. At that time, we didn't have the here and the now law. Bashar came out with that later. So it's the 4 laws of synchronicity or ascension. And then they added in that to give us a little more scope. And I was like, I'm talking on the phone with Sylvia, right? And she was my law of attraction connection. And we would go to these law of attraction. And that's why I started just speaking, just bringing out everything I've been devouring. And we're laying on the phone talking, and she's like, I used to be she was still a hairstylist, but she did it in a garage. But I used to have a hairstyle, and it was called Hair Odyssey. You're going to be Odyssey of Ascension. And it went click, and I was like, I was like, oh my God, that's it. It was like it was always there. So you attract to that reality, but you actually don't go to it. It comes to you. And that was like, that's how law of attraction works. Get the hell out of my way. But, you're impatient. You got to make sure because you're taught to secure and manage. And look, everything, I got control. Because if I don't have control, everything's going to go to shit. NTM, it's a twister. It's like, no, you're God's. Relax. And I did that. And it was like, and it just kept on happening. But in the meanwhile, I'm tearing myself apart.
Yeah.
But you remember the slide classes, the channeling classes? I would just do that because in the people that I attracted were my people to show me how I can look at myself, see what's in me that's no longer usable. It's all true. You can't have false in creation. Non-existence is what's not, and all existence is, right? So it's just a relationship with it. So that's why Bashar says if you had a rung of the ladder and you want to move on, well, you got to let go of the truth because those truths were stepping stones. They were part of your journey, but you don't know it because there's no finite. But humans, we got to have the right answer, make sure before because we might look like fools or get it wrong and waste our time and all this stuff. And I lived those. I lived those selves. I understood them. I transcended them. So we did the work with the slide classes and everything. And my journey, it's been marvelous. I couldn't have written a better, used my mind to navigate this. I'd have been a train wreck. I would have been some better, I would have been all the human. And I'm not human. I create human, Oh, so yeah.
Well said. Well, and I find that all the time when I start trying to control and I start trying to go, well, this is how I want it to look. The universe is like, amateur, get the fuck out of the way. Let me show you how it's done.
Let it
And
go. Let it
yes,
go.
and it's, and of course, what the universe brings to me is always way better than anything that I was thinking of. And
Right.
right now, I just got a job working in Vaughn's as I applied as a checker, but they're like, we need you as a bookkeeper, supervisor, whatever. But I'm finding, an
Vaughn's,
old
the
memory.
grocery store?
Yeah.
Good.
And
Good
I'm
for
like,
you. That's right. I didn't congratulate you. You said you got a
oh,
job, but
thanks.
I didn't do it personally. Congratulations.
Well, and I'm like going into this reality of like, oh, well, this wasn't my plan. That, I was supposed to have
Yeah.
this and this and this. And through this, I'm having more fun. I'm also stepping into a memory of, oh my God, I'm not sure if I'm going to know how to do this. And yet the universe is always like, this is what happened when you taught me how to channel. I'd be like, what if somebody asks me something I won't know? Never happened. Never happened. Never
Not a
happened.
chance.
Yep. And the
Because you
exact,
have the now. Everything in the now is
yes,
perfect. You have it. You might be
exactly.
looking. Most people try to go, oh, no, no, no. I can't say that because they might, and then this and then that. And they're negotiating with the value of the self of worth in the moment, and they pawn it off to the idea of imagery on what they're supposed to look like. So in the
Yes.
moment, you may not like the answer that you're getting through the ego, but you like it through yourself. So that's what you speak. Why? Because that offers change. These people aren't here to make a living. They're here to wake the fuck up. But we can't go preaching to them. We can't go teaching them because obviously religion doesn't work. And what do? We represent. So it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing in the identification. You're not a career. You're not. What you are doing is expressing the value of yourself every moment, whatever that is, to find you. And when you do that, it doesn't matter if you're working as a checker or a bookkeeper, or if you're out there pushing carts into the grocery store. It doesn't matter. You are looking and knowing yourself through the idea of the interactions of the now. Whatever that is. Be the honest. Discover the self. If you find a self you don't like, let that bitch go and move on. Move on, evolve. Hey, thanks for that choice. Now I'm this, and now I'm moving on. Don't regret yourselves. There's no regret if someone else is trying to feed off of you. No, you made me hurt. What do you cry about it? That's your relationship with me. I have nothing to do with that. You have nothing to do with anyone else's pain. But still, we're trying to manage people's feelings because we don't want to look bad. Look bad. Be a dragon that doesn't belong. Pop into a reality and go, hi, and they're like, who the fuck, why, what, and it changes. Instead of the old dumbed down version of human that everyone's taking their absolute rainbow and dumbing it down to gray. Hey, look, everyone, we're gray. Gray, gray, gray. No, man, be brilliant. Be brilliant. Be authentic. And you'll do that. And when you're at there and your mind is selling you a story, oh, you have to do this. No, because they don't want a version of what's in the past. They want change. Everyone wants that. Some of them might get shocked and not like it, but you're not here to be a lollipop. You're here to be a dragon.
Of course.
Anyways, I run off at the mouth a little bit.
That's why you're here.
I'm the dragon.
That's why you're here. I love it when you go off. And for those of you guys that don't know, Roxanne had helped me communicate with the energy form that was coming through me in 2015 when I was channeling, which was dragon energy.
Oh yeah, so, I remember that.
Yeah, so I love that you keep bringing it
and
up.
You also had the
be a dragon
too, didn't you?
Yeah, that was fun. That was a blast, and I love the self empowerment that I move through that and continue to evolve. And it's like to step into this current job. Wow, what a wonderful challenge to bring exactly everything you said into this.
Right here.
Holy shit. Yep. I was like I was in that mind space of, oh, I'm going backwards, all of that. And to hear this part of me going, oh, no, baby, you're gonna rock this world over here. Cause I'm like, oh, I want my house in the mountains on the lake, ease. And it's like, no, I am so not a being of ease. It's like, bring that challenge. I'm going to step up because, one of and this is why I interact with you, because I'm always like, how can I bring my 100% to today? And I always go into today with not, I expect excellence, but I'm looking for my excellence. And when I hang out with the loving guidance of, oh, it's okay, oh, it's so joyful, that no, that's not my 100%. I want the people that make me I want the ones that are going to challenge, intimidate, make me step up more to owning myself, stepping into myself, finding that 100%.
Yeah.
And that's you, I'm like going, oh shit, Roxanne, she's always scared the shit out of me a little bit.
See, the thing is you have an image of your house, you have an image of your future, you have what you're supposed to be, and Vaughn's is going backwards. See, all this is the identity maintaining itself. When you become aware of those and you just did it, you don't choose that reality. That's how, and this is Abraham 101, energy fall awareness. This is so easy. This is the vortex. Don't put it in there. Don't focus on it. Don't look, I'm going backwards. Okay, how do we fix this? All right, what's that? Because you're giving it energy. You accept everything in the now because the now is law of attraction. The law of attraction doesn't fail because it's based off of vibration, not the vibration of intention, hope, needs, and want, which is a lot because you're never enough if you're always trying to become more. You have to be acceptance of what you are because your own existence supersedes and includes all that is. Duh. Right? One and all. And it's not a joke. So you got to know that you're enough as is. And the journey is an undefined, unscripted reality of exploration. But here we are managing through the imagery. And so, of course, we have disappointment and failure and going back. But that's the recognition. So you have challenged yourself to change, to see the relationship that offers vibrational shift of worth inside, which starts attracting other realities. But remember, when those realities come, they're not the universe sending them to you because the universe isn't in control. It's you. It's what you are by the nature. So command and own, but don't demand reality. Demand is a stuck pig crying because they didn't get the ball and bat at recess. Stop. You're enough in the now, and you start to command the reality of acceptance of your own awesome and allow those changes. Now, of course, you're going to go through the emotions. You transcend the emotions through acceptance, and then you live the motion of life that's beyond polarity. You see how beautiful it is to be a creator, undefined, not fitting an image, not trying to be, not needing or wanting the acceptance of others, not pride. I mean, the 7 deadly sins are not sin. They're not sins to me. My truth about them, my knowing about them, is they're a relationship of understanding the self. Why do I envy another? Why do I have to have pride of my own existence? Why do I need to maintain that image, right? The greed, the idea of gluttony. How much is too much? Well, apparently on the planet Earth, nothing is too much. And that's not right or wrong. That's the game. You can let them have it. I don't care how much they take because I create a bubble, mine. And this is a thought. This isn't one Earth, it's billions Earth. It's all happening vibrationally. So my now matches my frequency, so I always have. I'm never in lack, right? Yeah. So I started to discover that your relationship of change comes through recognition of your vibrational, let's say, determinations about your reality. So you're like, oh, I'm going backwards. Well, okay, so am I going backwards? I'm not meeting the expectations. Well, if I'm a God, then why can't I have this? Well, because you haven't accepted yourself as enough. Because that's an unconditional point of view, which allows vibrations to give you, attract to you, those of your worthiness, the nature of you, the uniqueness, not the product of you. It's easy to be a product. We produce ourselves all the time. We go running home to mom and dad with A's and B's. We go to jobs and work hard and get promotions, and we're production. That's easy. Mastery is to be enough, to accept yourself as is without the tantalizing ideas of definitions, putting ourselves on a shelf for sale, negotiating with our worth with the idea of an outcome at a better time instead of now, here and now, I'm enough. So That only shows you the relationship of that value, that belief system that was coveted from maybe mom, maybe religion, you know, and the idea of those seven deadly sins gives you perspective of things. You know, what is sloth? Is being lazy good or bad? It's not being lazy. That's a self judgment because we're taught to always be productive. But the minute we take a break because we've earned it, it's okay. But when it's too much, then we become sloth. I think sloth is, hey man, slow down. I don't think it was a sin. I think it was slow down to speed up. Take your time about things. Look in the now. Be relative to the relationship of yourself and the truth. Find the authentic. Don't be the knee-jerk reaction. Let the knee-jerk reaction happen, but be a sniper of observation. Say, wait a minute, that's my ego, but this is me. I'm okay choosing this right now. Let me find out what happens in the uncertain self. The certain self is easy. That's painful. I know I'm going to get pain there. It's safe. It's secure. Painful. I can mediocre it a little. I can negotiate with it. But no. How about today I can be worthy? I'm going to be scared. I'm going to be uncertain. But if I don't find out, well, what good am I? Right? So you journey in that mannerism. Obviously you did. Obviously you did. Because you did something to attract this reality. And this reality is change. It's not certainty, it's not definition, it's change. Change is the only constant. So be the change to explore yourself and take everything that is becoming into you. Realize that everything is forging the isness of your gestalt. That's the material that creates you and it shapes your persona, the one that you express in the moment, the one you are projecting as a nature of you, not an image, not the falsities, not the plastic that people put out. Look at me. So I'm excited for you because you're changing. You're not
Yet
maintaining.
again.
And if you recognize that emotion, say, cool, look, I'm going to go off the deep end here. I'm going to get a little angry. Okay, I'm back. Good. Now I understand that. Now I can choose different. Now I'm so overly excited. I got a whole bunch of hope about that. I might get disappointed, but that's okay. I'm going to hope for a while. Okay, now I'm done hoping. I'm good. Now, here I am. Everything is good. Here I am. I'm enough here and now. I have not failed, ever.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Go, bitch, go. You know, Adyashanti, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he was talking about how everything comes and goes. Every epiphany, every person in your life, every thought, every feeling, every mood, everything comes and goes. But there's that one thing that never does, and it's you. You know, it's, and I find that I can find that version of me that was there when I was 20, was there when, there when I was 10, was there when I was 30. And and I can feel when I was sick, it wasn't sick. When I was angry, it wasn't angry. When I was happy, it wasn't happy either. It would, and when I was head over heels in love and I thought, I've made it to what I've been looking for, it was still the same. It didn't need that love.
Yeah.
It didn't need this. It didn't need that. It just is. And
Your existence. Yeah. Yeah.
I love touching back in with her because when I think, with Abraham, there's that the emotional scale. And whenever I get up in that joy, that, oh my God, oh, the angels are singing and I think I'm right. And I think I've finally done it right, as we do, to touch in with her. And she's still the same. She's still that, just that even keel of, it's all good.
Well, see, the thing is she can't be uneven because she's the isness of the now. She's the full unconditional portion of you that's the creator. That's the law of one existence. That's what Seth was teaching. We're still going through these classes about polarity because I have like 3 or 4 channels that have been talking about this. So you are the what creating the who's. So all of those are just points of view. They're not identities. They're perceptions. And that's what you are inside of you. That's your point of view. That's the change of vibration. That is the understanding of your experience. It's what you take in to build your persona forever. Forever. Yes. We're never going to stop. We're never going to stop. God, every time I hear that, I'm like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Just knowing we're going to be forever. When you know it, you can believe it. That's one relationship. But when you know it,
Know it.
there's a different relationship. It's like a different quality. It's like what? So, anyways, it was like you know your isness. So I have Esmeralda as a self, and maybe Cece as a self, or these different ideas. But those aren't identities; those are points of view. It's still the I am expressing that. And since I was expressing it through a filtered belief systems of whatever I viewed myself as, which is the creation outside of me that was being filtered, my experience, those aren't identities, those are expressions. I'm the creator of expression. We call themselves, Seth called themselves as the way to experience yourself. Not a way to identify yourself, but that's what we do because we identify in compartmentalization or whatever, or definition for grabbing onto. I'm a teacher, I'm a student, I'm this, I'm that, I make this much money, I drive this car, I have all this, I'm a Republican, I'm a liberal, I'm a vegan, I'm a meat eater, well, no shit, you're all of it. Relax, we got you. Do whatever the hell, but just don't demand me to love you for it. Don't make yourself lower and hope that I'm going to accept you for what you are, kiddo, because I know what you are. You're a creator of one and all. And without you, there's no me. So, okay, I love you. That's it. Okay, you're enough. Right? You got it. You're here. What's the remember the movie Soul? I don't know if you saw it. I haven't seen it yet. Did you see it?
I did.
Okay, so remember the part, someone that told me about the part, you humans get it wrong. You think it's about purpose and meaning. It's not about that. It's about life. We're life.
Yes.
What's the other option? Non-life. Non-life doesn't even know they're not life because
No
they're
such
not
thing.
life. We're life. Holy shit. It's just about the experience.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And that was a good movie. The last 15 minutes was all that.
That's what everyone says. It's like the last 15 minutes. Like,
I know the rest of the movie,
good.
But those last 15 minutes is just like, oh, and yes, and I love that through what I'm with my dog. That my view of death has, not my view, just my relationship with death has changed to where I don't feel that there's ever an end. There's never an end. Like we leave this earth or anything like that. I just there's just nothing there. And I say no.
Rooms.
Yeah.
I think we just change rooms.
Yeah. We just change rooms, however that looks.
Right.
And yes. And what I
know
love
it in
is
the
that,
now.
Yes. And I was feeling that part of me that's like, oh, this is, I want to do this and this and this before I die. And to feel that it's just when there is no end there, can't even explain it, but it's just so continuous and expansive and huge. And it's like, there's no more agenda. There's no more agenda of, oh, but I'm 54 years old and I haven't done this and this and this is never going to happen. I'm a failure. And yes, all of that game is just gone. And all it took was just letting go of demanding my dog stay here so that I don't have to suffer when there was no suffering. There was
suffering
no
is internal.
suffering.
That's your point of view. Exactly.
Yes. And it was the biggest gift I've ever given myself. And I just like, thank you. And then comes the next day or next now, and I have plenty more gifts.
Oh yeah. Constant, outstanding. My life got 2020, year of the COVID, phenomenal change for me. So much realization, so much work I did, so much change in my life. It's just magnificent. But it wasn't just 2020. It was every now added up in the memory of time that showed myself my own evolution. My own evolution since I started when I became Roxanne in 2010, when I said no more Roy, bye, Roxanne, hi, and understood who she was and let her out and let her express herself. That's the nature of me. Well, it's fantastic. It's
I love it.
it's
Yeah.
immeasurable.
And I have to agree with you about 2020, even though it's just, like you said, it's a measure of time. And it to see the Kristen Clark unmasked that I thought I was, I was out and I was being me, and to see how that evolved even more, and how it
Yeah,
upset the apple cart in a way that I didn't think was possible, and to let that go, just to let it go with the ease and say, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not being the person you need me to be, and okay, that's all good. I'm over here when you want to say hi.
yeah,
And to continue, and I love how in the beginning you said, with Roxanne, either kill her or accept her.
yeah,
And yeah, I loved that, because that's exactly where I was at. It's like
yeah.
either kill Kristen or be her. And Kristen
Beer.
Clark unmasked. Yeah. And so many people took that term unmasked and they needed to twist it into whatever they needed to twist it in. Cool.
Right
That's
on.
fine. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
their
It's like,
journey. But
okay.
remember, you got to be honest with yourself. This is the part that's the mastery. When you have an emotional relationship of acceptance, you got work to do. That's the thing. When you have a divinity about a relationship, and there is only the unconditional, no matter what they're saying or reacting, there's no justification for their action in your own temperament, then you'll know that you've transcended that external validation because you don't need it. Remember that. So you'll never have to apologize to a person. You'll never have to convince yourself that it's fine what they are, because there's no never mind with them. There's nothing there except the bliss of the unit of one, the one and the all, the unconditional exploring. So when people are behaving in whatever way they're behaving, I accept them because that's the unconditional exploring. The minute I fit it into a categorization is the minute I feed that energy and sustain the image of separation within my kingdom. So when I see a relationship within myself, I got to be honest and say, you know what? This is my shit. I need to own it. It's not big and emotional. It's just this tiny little part that says, am I okay not understanding that relationship as a value? Can I let that go and see what it looks like unconditionally? And the only way to let go is not through the affirmation bullshit, sticking your shit on the mirror and doing mantras for 20 years. It's the full acceptance. That's my belief system. I created it for the experience of my mastery as a forgotten God. And I accept that belief. I'm honest. It's mine. I own it. But I don't choose it. I don't choose that point of view. I don't validate it. I don't talk about it. I don't give it energy anymore. I let it go by accepting it and moving on to the choices in the now, which there's a shitload of choices we've never seen because we're so focused on what it's supposed to be. And it's like, oh, well, you can have your conniption.
I love you.
I love you too.
I so
I do.
adore you. Uh, I love when you're talking, how my little wings just are like, fly, fly, just soar and fly. Yes, and that, and I have to go back to, what I learned with my dog. I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't even know it was possible to, I mean, I knew that there was a
Yeah.
different view of how you can deal with death, but what I learned and and the job I'm in right now, I didn't even know what I'm learning in every now was possible. And
Right, because you've been focused on one thing, your lack. This way, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. This is not what I wanted. What do I do? How do I change it? Let me do this. Let me make an effort. Let me make goals. Let me go down this. And you get no other realities. And all of a sudden, you let go of that shit and you give up on yourself and say, okay, fine. And then, oh, wow. How can I see? What? Really? Well, yeah, there's an infinite number of choices in the now, but we're so hell bent on one, maybe two. So you saw it. Keep
I
going.
love
Fantastic.
it. Well, how are you doing? What's been new with you, like in the past 24 hours?
I
What's
went and got my prescription done. Last year I left the house 3 times. Once to get a tooth pulled, and 2 other times to get blood tests for the veterans, the VA, right? So I didn't go out of the house at all. I, Amazon and Etsy and uh, Uber Eats bringing me Starbucks now and again, right?
Yeah.
That's showing up on my door. So the year has been an internal exploration, and I've been putting it off, but in the last 4 or 5 months, my eyes have been really getting bad, the vision, right? So these are progressives, and I have, these readers here, right? So when I'm reading my music, so I got my music and I have to find that spot because you can't do them with the progressives because the reading part is here. So I'm like, okay, but you can't turn your head because they get blurry. I'm moving the flute. And I was like, okay, it's time. I can't do it anymore. I got to go. So yesterday I called my mom and I said, hey, Mom. And she goes, hey, what? And I said, I need a ride. So let's go get my eyes. So I got my eyes checked. I ordered 2 new sets of glasses, computer glasses, and an upgraded version of that. So that was my last 24 hours. So I'm very happy about that because I play my flute at least, I'm not supposed to play more than 2 hours because sometimes you can practice too much, but that's supposed to. I usually play quite a bit more than that. But I love playing, and I'm love that I'm getting glasses so I can read my music better. So that was that. It was like, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? And then you get that intuition. Oh, now it's time. So I called the San Antonio eye specialist at the mall. Yeah, we have one appointment for the mall available. You want it? I was like, yeah. So I got it. This was on Saturday. And then I called my mom. Yeah, I'll give you a ride. And then I said, Victor, are you in on Sunday? Because I'm going to come. I called him on Saturday. And he's the eye guy at Oakley. I haven't seen him in almost a year, right? Well, I guess it's been a year since, because I don't think it was since March. So about a year since I've seen him. He goes, yeah, hey, man, good to hear from you, blah, blah, blah. And he hooked me up, and it was all, simple. And it was, yeah, it was getting out of the house. It's been quite some time. So yeah, that was fun. And you know what I realized? It was there's a lot of humans out there. Now the relationship humanity, and this is a mastery that I got okay with. So I'm gonna turn on this so I can use these so I can see you better. Here's a mastery that I got okay with me. Everyone has a nature of themselves. And the nature of themselves, the uniqueness is not a sustained image. It's not effort. It's not a maintenance idea. You don't need to shore up your isness, right? And to realize self. And the more you deplete your ego by choosing the unknown you, blah, 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 you start to fall in love and get to know this self. Well, one thing I knew is that everyone's got this part of them. Everyone is an unconditional uniqueness about them that can't be measured by the labels of emotional status or humanity, good, bad, indifferent, mediocrity. Oh, they're cagey. Oh, they're just happy. Oh, they're just silly or whatever. Not those definitions. And then you can feel human. It's a thing. It's a vibrational relationship of polarity, and you get really good at feeling human. So you know that you're interacting with humanity through polarity because that's their forte. They're vibrating that image, and it's a quality. Like a dream has a quality, swimming underwater has a quality, breathing in air has a quality. You can feel it. It's a vibrational reality. You can know that through the unconditional, that conditioning. But that conditioning isn't right or wrong. It's just recognition of the game. So out in the world yesterday, it was like a wonderful sense of realizing the mastery that's out there. Everyone's lost, trying to find their way home, and it's not outside, it's inside. So you represent that. But I think the main point is when you detect bullshit, toxicity, solicitation to dumb yourself down to the version of what their need is, don't. Be the dragon. Be the dragon. Don't be afraid. So out there, it's like, you know what they're doing, but you got to be okay not doing that. You got to be okay with yourself as this explorer. A lot of people go, hey, Roxy, I'm alone. I'm lonely. I said, you're not alone. You're just not depending anymore. You have you. and you're an infinite number of worlds and an infinite number of selves expressed. Find you and you'll be never alone. You'll never be lonely. There's no privacy in one and all. There's the unity of diversity, you know, how beautiful we are uniquely. So that was a, a big shock because I went to the mall, there were people, I mean, everyone was masked up, and I was like, what a game we're playing. Look at us, 220, and we all got masks on. Fantastic great game, right? And it was like, look at this, you know, this is the greatest awakening. This is a hell of an alarm clock, right? So I'm like looking at that, and I was like, yeah, I want to go back home now. I got it. Let's go back home. Yeah, yeah. So that was really neat. And another thing, um, pollution. I never smelt it so powerful before.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, San Antonio is the 11th largest or 7th largest city in America. We got 11 million people here, right? We're large. We're not LA large, but we're large. So we have pollution, right? And I smelled it. I've been in the house. I've got 3 air filters. I got dust and I clean. I love cleaning. And so you don't smell it. You go out there and you're like, I was walking through the parking lot with moms and it was like, wow, that's exhaust. you know, and I was like, wow, it smells out here. I was like, this is a hell of a ride, man. But it was a great adventure to go out again. I haven't been out in a while, and it was really good to get out. It was nice.
Yeah.
So that was my last 24 hours.
That's awesome. You know, when I lived these last 4 years up in the San Bernardino Mountains, very isolated, you know, it was so easy to, well, and one of the craziest things is when I got up there, it's so quiet. I mean, it was like
I
crazy
can
quiet.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would step outside and I would hear that ringing I hear in the ears. And then eventually, after, you know, I don't know, however long, that ringing was actually gone. And then I would come back here to the city freeways, 101 freeways and stuff. And yeah, and I would get back up there after being here for a weekend, and all of a sudden that ringing's there. And I went, oh my God, it's because it's so freaking noisy in the city and you just don't realize it, that, you know. And it's funny how I will have people say, oh, the ringing is part of the ascension and this and that. And it's like, you know, we just live in a really noisy world.
It's a very noisy world. I get the ringing is there constantly, but what I get is pitches. When my mind goes, that's different than the, you know, than the constant ringing. And I was, you know, we always trying to figure things out. One of the things that I got is, how do you know yourself unless you start choosing it? So any of the, you know, the students or people I'm having sessions with or my YouTube channel, I'm always telling people, hey guys, take a chance on yourself. And Osifius said to me, I said, hey Osifius, how do I know? And he goes, don't. Go fuck it up, Roxanne. And watch how you only fall in love with yourself. Go find you, fear nothing, and live the reality on the other side of fear to find out there's only love there. There's only beauty. There's only self-discovery. Yeah. And it was magnificent because he said, go fuck it up. Go fuck it up. And I said, okay. And I did. And all I did was find me. So I can't be afraid to make the internal choices of self. I don't know how to do this. Well, you don't. No one does because it's undiscovered. That's what we are. We're the taking the known into the unknown, exploring the unknown now, making it known to ourselves and transfiguring that and moving on. But we're so, oh no, it used to be this way, got to be that, and that's what it's supposed to be, and we have to do this. No, we don't. No, we don't. No one's in charge. I think that's why we have conspiracy theories. It's because people got to explain what's going on. Because somewhere we all know there's no one in charge. There's no one in charge of the game.
There's no babysitter. Where's my babysitter?
No, none. I love my son. Sorry.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Well,
it's good. Yeah, let me
this
try
was, keep
Is
going.
it?
That's
Are
gorgeous.
you leaving me? No.
Not yet. Not
I'm
yet.
practicing this. I'm going to practice this. We're going to put it on the podcast. I'm working on my tone. No.
Mhm.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh. This is the hard part.
I
I don't know
love it.
what to do. You know
Fleur de
what's funny?
lis.
I played, and this is a new piece I'm working on, just starting. So, anyways, I played something for someone else on a podcast, and they cut that whole thing out because they didn't sound good. I was like, of course it didn't
I
sound
don't
good
edit.
because I'm working on it.
No,
They cut this
I
shit out
don't, I
because it's
never
human
edit.
knowing each
No,
other.
I
You
never
know?
edit my podcast. Never.
What's that song? Hang on. You're my age, right? We're both 54, right?
Yep.
I like
Grow
to make
apple
them.
trees and honey bees and snow white
That's
turtle
it. I
doves.
was like out
It's,
there jamming on the flute. Like I always go out on my balcony and I just do it. And I was like, and I was like, I like to make them.
teach
Oh, teach
the
the
world to
world to
sing
sing in
in
perfect
perfect
harmony. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, that was a
harmony.
great Coke commercial. I was like, oh my God, I remember that. And it just came out. And I was like,
Coca-Cola.
yeah, I was like, bitch, look at you. And I was like, I know, right? But anyway,
Oh,
so we're usually about an hour.
yep. It is what it is.
So I thank you. I thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for this opportunity of co-creation where two gods get together and fuck it up and find out where it goes.
Hell yes, baby. Oh my gosh. I had so, as always, it just is just so wonderful and expansive and expansive and expansive. And what I love is going into what I may have labeled as mundane before and seeing it as just as expansive and just play,
Oh
just
yeah,
play, just play.
yeah,
Life is simple, easy, fun. Play there. Life sucks. Life rocks. Play it all.
yeah. We can't get this any other place. This is the polarized world. This is the world of separation. This is the uniqueness of humanity. This is the master class. Out there, unconditional love. Yay, infinite number of ways. We wanted to find out what pain is. We did it. We got it.
Hell yeah.
Now let's discover our own love, right?
Yes. Well, have a wonderful day. And
I will.
yay. And I'll give you the link for this as soon as I get it up, which should be about half an hour or so.
Yeah, whatever. And if you guys need me, Odyssey of Ascension's my YouTube. I got a channel, a lot of information, 700 plus videos for the last 8 years, all free, no ads. I don't think there's ads. And just go and explore. Go and explore because it's really good point of view. It's not the blue pill that takes you out of the game or the red pill. It's not that. It's the journey. It's the discovery of self in the infinite now of change. So enjoy. I love you guys.
Mwah. Love you
Love
too,
you
honey.
too. All right. We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye, sweetie.